morning and welcome. It's the 3rd of May, a Sunday, the 7th Sunday of our time where we aren't able to go into our churches and share our worship. It seems such a long time, but it's good to be able to have this contact even in these difficult circumstances. Alleluia, Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. Alleluia. The readings today are interesting and in some ways exciting. I'm going to say little about the first one because I was actually quoting it yesterday, the passage from Acts chapter 2, verses 42 and following. You'll hear it during morning prayer, or you can look it up on the lists that we've published. This, as I said, is an important picture of the life of the early church, the way in which the Christians came together. They shared a common life, and there was an amazing sense of fellowship and communion. We're living in a time of impaired communion, of distanced fellowship. And of course our prayer should be that the full abundance of that fellowship can be restored soon. I use that word abundance purposely. Losing my words today. I use that word abundance purposely because it appears in the Gospel. The Gospel is one of those marvellous passages in St. John where Jesus talks about his relationship to us. Just a few quotes from it. Jesus talks about the sheepfold and the shepherd. He talks about the shepherd who is leading the sheep. The shepherd calls his own sheep by name and he leads them out. He goes ahead of them. The sheep follow because they know his voice. It's a marvellous picture of not of the shepherd driving the sheep, but of the shepherd going ahead of the sheep and the sheep following him. I am the way, the truth, the life, said Jesus. I am the shepherd who the sheep follow. But then he moves on at the end of this passage in chapter 10, verse 10, to say something which is marvellous. The thief only comes to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it abundantly. Jesus, who describes himself as the gate, the way in, tells us what this way in is for. The way in is so that we can have abundant life in the love of God. It is God's will, accomplished in Jesus, that we should live a life that has real quality, a life that has something about it that is different to anything else. The abundant life is found in our fellowship one with another, as the Acts of the Apostles describe. But above all, the abundance is found in following Jesus, in sharing his life, and like him, walking in that way which leads to the fullness of life and love in God. May we follow our Good Shepherd and come to that abundant life which he prepares for all of us. May God bless us today and every day.